Thank you, Ivan. You know, we're treated to royalty, and I think you all know that. So thanks. Representing a lot of years, incredible achievement, working at Portland State University, and I would like two other individuals to stand up, Jim and Rin from Portland State University, who are partners with Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association in this event and future endeavors, and we really appreciate you stepping up and being involved with us, because this will be a long relationship, and give them a hand for their involvement with us. So, you know, it's very humbling for me to come and speak after these gentlemen, and it does. I'm a teacher. I'm called to be a teacher. That was my career, and my mission is to help other school districts, not mine only, but Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association, the leaders of the organization. Our mission is to move that needle from only 20% of schools who have a coding class to 50%. Now that might be a low bar, but you know, we're going to take one step at a time. So I'd like the leaders of the Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association to stand up. So, these are, and I would say we're an organization and somewhat loosely organized. We just came off of our first 3-day SuperQuest training here nearby at Clackamas Community College with 85 teachers in the K-12 system wanting to get better at instruction and delivering high-tech education to their students. So we're very, very pleased for that event. But teaching in those classes and classes throughout the state here in the near future are teachers like Jill, Jason, and Don, who just stood up, and Don's recently retired, but for a long time engineering teacher at Hillsborough High School. And but these teachers we're bringing, what our mission is to bring exemplar programs so to the masses, if you will, to administrators and school board members and to teachers, to show that it can be done and to tell them how to do it, to show them how to do it. Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association has been around for 30 years. And as we had Jim and Ivan talk to you, and we're very impressed with their credentials, and we always will be, and indicated some of the things that grew out of IBM and to Intel, and by the way, IBM is a sponsor of the things and a partner of what we do as well. But Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association also spawned some organizations that you might be aware of. International Society of Technology Education came out of the Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association, as well as the CSTA, and ACM was mentioned in one of the bios, but the Association of Computing Machinery sponsors the National Computer Science Teachers Association, but that group came out of, the CSTA came out of the Oregon, which our organization, now 30 years old. So we have a great history as well. We've been teachers training teachers for 30 years, but we didn't, during the defunding of education, the recent downturn in the economy and so forth and so on, we had a hard time holding serve. We had computer programs, computer classes and programs within schools were canceled because we couldn't fund it. And the efforts that we made over these 30 years to hold these programs, in fact, we celebrated holding serve. Not a great moment for us, but during the recent years, we haven't grown programs in Oregon, but we have seen that happen in the last few years. And so the reason we're excited, now I can sit here and admire the problem with you, but that doesn't change it. It doesn't find a solution, so I'm not going to do that. What I want to do is offer solutions. And through our efforts of leadership and through the legislature and through additional funding that you may hear about today, the hope, we are very hopeful that we're going to be able to move this number of engineering and high-tech programs from 20% up to 50% and even more because of the funding, because of the effort, and because of you. But it can't be done only by a few teachers that you saw stand up here because we have a day job. It can't be done by maybe just one or two legislators as passionate as they are. It's going to take, and I would say a village, but it's going to take a state. You know, it's going to take a state with a mission and a passion and a focus on that it is our social calling to make sure that the students, not only in Sherwood, but in Newburgh and in Medford and in Bend and these other school districts have the same opportunity. That they have an opportunity to get on the career path of high pay, high demand jobs. Because as you heard Jim say, I tried and I failed. I could not hire an Oregon engineer. And that hurts me because I'm trying as well. And in Sherwood is fairly successful, but it's dependent upon me. But I want to change that landscape. And Mark and I and others are working to change that landscape. Jeff Reardon is out there at the legislature pounding that home day in and day out. And but we have reached, I think, a crisis because Jim says I can't. And but the future is hopeful. There's more funding coming in right now. I think we heard yesterday that there's more state funding now than federal funding for CTE and STEM programs. That's great news. Washington spends $385 million on their CTE STEM programs. Mark, do you remember what do we spend right now? And we're happy about it?
We're at 41 million.
41 million, and we're excited. But you know, that's a great growth from where it was 3 years ago. So rather than admire the problem, let's look at the possibilities. Let's get hopeful. And I'm about done because we're approaching time. But the Oregon Computer Science Teacher Association received a grant from ODE a few months ago for $750,000 to do what we've always wanted to do, and now we're able to do it. And some have said, well, T. Smith and OCSTA, here it is. And I said, oh, great, that's what we dreamed. Now, be careful what I wish for, really, because we now are going to be held accountable. But we're excited about that because we can do this. And we can do this because in our application we had 40 or more partners that said, yes, we're behind you. Portland State's behind us. And I'm going to leave somebody out, but basically anybody who cares about this problem is behind us. And we are going to change the landscape in the public and private high schools and K-12 system in Oregon. We will do it, and I promise you that over this 18 months of the grant, there will be a significant change. But it's just the beginning. And so we're going to use this opportunity, and the nuts and bolts of it is we are going to have 7 SuperQuest. The first one was yesterday in Portland area. We're going to be in Eugene and Salem and Medford. We'll be out at Redmond, Pendleton, and to the coast and Newport. And we're partnering with the hubs in these areas and beyond over the next couple of years to train teachers and inform administrators and encourage school board members. Right, Eric? And I got a thumbs up on that because we're going to get before the school boards, OSBA. We're going to get before COSA, the administrators, and we're going to train teachers. The problem is, if we're successful, if we can't find teachers, because Jim's looking for the same people I'm looking for as well. He's looking for the high-tech, tech-confident individuals. I want them to teach. Jim wants them to change the world and get that fan fixed in the laptop. Way beyond that. But we can do both. If we grow a generation of tech-confident humans, we can do both. So we will find those teachers. What we will do is we'll find those tech-confident people that have a passion for changing the world through humans. We call them teachers. there'll be plenty of people who don't want to spend their day hanging with freshman boys that want to play games and program games. They annoy me. But folks, it's educational truth and it's exciting. If you come into my classroom with those freshmen boys and girls, and mostly boys and a few girls, the girls are kicking their butts and we're having a great time. But these students are getting on the train, the track, the career path that they wouldn't be on if that program wasn't available. While I, as a teacher, really would prefer to talk at you like I'm modeling bad teaching right now. It's comfortable for me as a teacher to be a sage on the stage, but that doesn't do my students a lot of good. But computers and this curriculum and these opportunities provide a chance for us to move the ownership of learning to students. And then what happens? Okay, I'm going to own the fact that I would rather talk about the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and draw it on the board and tell them how it's much more comfortable playing basketball on a rectangle than a parallelogram, and why that parallelogram of concrete should be square. And use anyway, you get the point. I can talk about that and maybe they will get it. We'll have to go pour concrete for them to really get it. But to give them a project and say, you know what, how are you going to get your Mario hero character to jump? And you know what, kids? I'm not going to tell you. Because there's YouTube. And you will actually have to read. I don't have to tell them that. If they have to get their Mario character to jump, they're going to read. They will find a solution. I don't have to tell them. Folks, Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association wants to change education so that students begin to own it. And then the reading skills will happen, the computational skills will happen, and that's our dream. We have 14 months to do it, and then we're out of money. Thank you, ODE and legislature. No, but it's an awesome start. It is an awesome start because we're going to be able to take this mission of new education, of new training, new teaching to these students, and we are going to have a generation of students now that Jim will be able to hire in 6 years. That's a dream. Not sure all my administrative peers know that yet, but if we have our way, they will find out soon. That's part of the grant. So we did receive the grant. We do have a dream. We do have a plan. It's all mapped out. We're very excited about it. We have a lot of partners around Oregon. We're crazy enough to think that after 14 months in August of 2017, when this grant wraps up, that we're going to have a nice package. We're going to move beyond Oregon. We may have to change our name. No, actually, Oregon spawns a lot of awesome technology stuff, so we're going to stay with Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association, but we might be in Washington, Alaska, Idaho, and Northern California, because we can. We have a model, we have passion, we have a mission, and we're going to change the world. And if you want to change it with us, then you are our partner. And how do you become a member of Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association? You just did, and you cannot revoke that membership. By virtue of being here today, you are a member of us and a partner with us.